I vividly remember when I discovered Buffy the Vampire Slayer for the first time. It was the summer between high school and university, and I was channel surfing looking for something to watch. I stumbled upon the show on the Sci-Fi Channel, but it was Season 4, Episode 5, This Year's Girl. This turned out to be the best episode for me to find, as it was like 5 minutes of previously on Buffy clips. I was just sitting there thinking, what have I missed? I watched the episode and was hooked, so I went out to the nearest retailer and bought the first season on DVD to find out. It has been years since I did a full watch through of the show, so today, let's dive right back in at the start and see what we can uncover about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Welcome to the Hellmouth. Before we begin, let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, it looks old and it feels dated. Let's be honest, 1997, which is when this first episode came out, was 27 years ago. The show is dated, but still good.
Yeah, still good.
Okay, now that is out of the way, we can get to number 1, Aphrodisia.
What kind of name is Buffy? Hey, Aphrodisia. Oh, hey!
Aphrodisia? Her name is Aphrodisia. Did you catch that? Did anyone catch that? How have I not picked up on this before? What kind of name is Aphrodisia? And who are you to be picking on Buffy? This girl and her strange name never come up again. But it is a fun nod from the writers that, yes, Buffy is a weird name, but it could be worse. Number 2, Buffy's interactions with the main cast. For those of you who don't know, Xander, Willow and Giles are all different aspects of Buffy herself. Xander is Buffy's metaphorical heart.
Animus. Heart.
He represents her courage and is the protector of Buffy's well-being and the guardian of her heart. We can see in this episode that Xander is very awkward, way more than in the rest of the show, because Buffy is feeling awkward and unsure in her new surroundings. But when we see Xander confront her at the Bronze about slaying,
hope he's not a vampire because then you might have to slay him.
He is not scared, and this allows Buffy to calm down and find Willow. Willow is Buffy's metaphorical spirit.
Spiritus. Spirit.
She represents idealistic thought, views on the world, and a calling to something more. She is often seen as reminding Buffy of the bigger picture, and this helps Buffy change and grow. This is done more by Buffy having to step up for Willow rather than Willow showing her the way, like in this episode with Buffy sharing her philosophy about dating with Willow.
Well, my philosophy, do you want to hear my philosophy?
Yeah, I do.
Life is short.
This gives Willow the push to try and get out of her comfort zone. In turn, it gives Buffy the push to start hunting the vampires again, that to this point in the episode she has been resisting. Giles is Buffy's metaphorical mind.
Surface. Mind.
He is the source of wisdom and knowledge for Buffy, both with the supernatural and with life in general. They have the most screen time together in this episode, so it's not surprising that the dynamic between them is very strong, even at this early stage. My favourite detail, however, is at the Bronze, when Buffy realises immediately that Willow is in trouble and takes action, while Giles is vacillating, unsure of what to do. Number 3, subverting expectations. Buffy the Vampire Slayer was created to subvert expectations, having the main protagonist being the girl that would normally get killed in an alleyway in a horror film. But there's no better example of this than in the opening few minutes of the show. We see a guy and a girl breaking into the science classroom of the school, and we're all like, yep, they're dead. Either the guy is going to kill the girl or some monster is going to kill them both. But no, the girl is the killer. Immediately, we feel like we cannot trust anything about this world. Anyone can be a killer, and they can hide in plain sight. Number 4, questionable parenting. I like Joyce, but man do they not treat her character well. She's often used as a plot device, and this is clear in her first scene, when she's trying to be the supportive mum, but
Try not to get kicked out.
not really encouraging. And the thing is they didn't need Joyce to do this, because in the next scene, Flutie is the one that's explaining that
You burned down the gym.
and that's why she got kicked out. Joyce didn't have to be involved in that part of the conversation. She could have just been the supportive mum dropping her kid off. Later in the episode, we also see that Joyce is unloading on Buffy about how hard the change is for her. It could be seen as a sharing and connecting moment between a mum and a daughter, but we also get,
Oh, you're a good girl, Buffy. You just fell in with the wrong crowd. But that is all behind us now.
which just undermines all the good stuff. How are they both supposed to move on if Joyce keeps bringing it up to Buffy? Number 5. Buffy's first of many speeches. We see Buffy confront Giles in the library after investigating the dead guy in the locker room, complaining that vampires and the Watchers followed her to Sunnydale, and it all culminates in...
He prepares her.
Prepares me for what? For getting kicked out of school? For losing all of my friends? For having to spend all of my time fighting for my life and never getting to tell anyone because I might endanger them? Go ahead. Prepare me.
This is the first indication that being the Slayer parallels growing up, leaving school, losing friends, and keeping secrets for fear of hurting other people are all things a 16-year-old would fear about growing up. And in a moment that I find so real is that Giles doesn't have an answer. He is lost. As how can you tell a person what growing up will mean as it's so vast and amazing and unexplainable? Buffy has already had to grow up very fast, and at this moment is only seeing the bad side. And with Giles unable to give her any answer or any reassurance, she feels more defeated than ever and runs away. This is a powerful moment and real characters that we want to root for, which is what gets us hooked into a show. Number 6. Angel and Darla's characterization. There are always going to be some inconsistencies in the first episode of a show.
What?
And for Buffy, we have Angel and Darla's characterizations. I love these two characters, and I don't think they did a bad job here, but knowing what we know about their histories, neither of them feel like the characters we know and love. Darla is seen throughout the shows Buffy and Angel to be self-assured, manipulative, and clever. We see some of that in how she attacks the boy at the school.
Are you sure this is a good idea?
And how she lures Jessie out of the bronze. But you'll lose me when we get to the crypt.
We had someone, but then she came. She killed Thomas. Luke, she's strong.
Darla was in China when Spike killed his first Slayer, so you cannot tell me that she doesn't recognize a girl with super strength as the Slayer, even if she's never fought one herself. I'm glad they fleshed out her character more after this episode, and more so in Angel, but it does make this early incarnation of her character feel off. Angel also suffers from first episode yips. He is fun and engaging, and not the tortured soul we know him to be from the rest of the show.
The truth is, I thought you'd be taller, or bigger muscles and all that. You're pretty spry, though.
Although he does have the stalking Buffy from the shadows thing down already, so he's consistent on that at least. I get the feeling the writers didn't know what they wanted Angel to be this early on in the show, other than a love interest. They may not have even known he was going to be a vampire. So his being a mysterious guy with some information and some flirty banter is what they started with.
This guy, dark, gorgeous, in an annoying sort of way.
But they had Giles for all the information, so that didn't work. The flirty banter that he has in the first couple of episodes gets lost when they make him all tortured and having a tragic backstory. It was a fun way to introduce the character, I guess, but I kind of miss it later on. I'm sure there is so much more to uncover in this episode, but that will have to do for now. Going back to old beloved shows like this is a heap of fun. It almost feels like I'm watching it again for the first time and discovering new things to love. Thanks for watching, and let's see what other secrets we can uncover next time on Nerdy Investigations.